It's the ultimate Cleveland sports show. Of course, I'm still got Browns on the brain. I said Browns instead of Cavs, guys.
Yeah, man.
I've got to pull it together. It's my first show in a while. All right, we will get to the Browns, of course. Jimmy Haslam had some interesting comments about Deshaun Watson, which kind of were eye-opening. We'll get to that next segment, but now we got to talk about the Cavaliers. And I'm excited about the Cavaliers. I really am, because the playoffs are coming. I'm done with regular season basketball. We make it through. You got, 7 more games, I believe, in the regular season?
8, I believe. 7 or 8, doesn't matter.
Yeah?
7 or 8.
Yeah.
I thought it was 9 going into yesterday. 8
No, I think it was 8.
It might have been.
I beat Mike on a basketball subject. We're about to find out.
I know Utah got 7 more games, but that's just because we was watching it. But yeah.
Anyway,
it doesn't really matter.
The regular season ends a week from Sunday. That I know.
That is true. Yes.
And then the playoffs will begin. So it could be 2 weeks from today. The Cavs playing their first playoff game. I'm excited about that.
They got the 4th, so it most likely look like they play in Toronto.
Yeah. Although
the Knicks.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say that, because if I remember correctly,
Atlanta's half
5 through 10 is like within 2 games of each other.
5 through 10, and also they're only a game back of the Knicks now.
By the way, we already know the 20 teams in the playoffs.
Yes, it is locked in.
Because the gap between the 10 and 11 in both divisions or both conferences is huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's official, but we know it. So we don't know. And obviously the Cavs the Knicks have lost, I think, 2 in a row or 3 in a row, something like that. So the Cavs are on their heels. Now, we can say all we want. Let's face it. And the Pistons have played well without Cunningham. But I don't care. I want to play the Pistons in the second round. I don't want Boston or the Knicks. And I think it's going to be Boston. But, I'd rather play Boston in the conference finals than in the conference semifinals.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to disagree. I don't think anyone inside the Cavs organization is going to disagree.
Yeah.
The reality of the situation, though.
Yeah.
No matter who,
they're not going to lose on purpose.
No. But no matter who their opponent is in the second round or the third round, the Cavs don't have a chance to reach the goal that they want to reach to unless they get this level of continued play from both Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And last night was another perfect example. Yeah. Allen didn't play. They played tonight against the Lakers, so they sat out some guys in the first end of a back-to-back. Mobley had 34 points, did not shoot a single three, had a career-high 9 dunks in the game. If you watch the highlights, anytime he gets around the rim, he's trying to throw it down. He leads the NBA in dunks now, guys, by the way. He has 188 dunks on the season. Rudy Gobert second with 181.
Yeah.
And the most impressive part of all of this is how James Harden has made it his priority since coming to Cleveland to get the big guys involved, to get the most out of Jared Allen, to get the most out of Evan Mobley. His scoring's gone down. He was averaging close to 25 points per game with the Los Angeles Clippers. In Cleveland, that number's down to just over 20. He had 13 points last night. It felt like he was only shooting the ball to get Utah to remember he has the ability to shoot the ball, so he can create passing lanes, manipulate the defense, draw them out of their position, so he can feed the ball down to Evan Mobley. And when Evan Mobley plays like he did last night, and when we've seen Jared Allen play alongside James Harden, if they can get those versions of the two bigs, Boston, Detroit, whoever they play in the playoffs, hopefully in the NBA Finals, their biggest advantage could be the fact that they could have 2 7-footers with incredible efficiency from inside the arc that other teams simply cannot match with. Last point on this, in March, Evan Mobley is shooting 70% from inside the arc.
Mike,
70.
This is how he should be playing.
Yes.
Right? And they experimented with him being a perimeter guy.
Didn't work.
It didn't work. That wasn't his game. He's not going to be this unicorn type player.
Yep.
But he's showing. And by the way, the injury to Jared Allen kind of helped. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, and it's good that we need him, and it's good that he's getting healthy. But it gave the opportunity for James Harden to work with Evan Mobley more.
It's you and me now.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so I love that he wasn't taking it. I don't need him taking threes. They got plenty of guys that can take threes.
Mm-hmm. They got guys that do that.
Use your size. Be a big man. And kick some butt in the paint. And that's exactly what he did. And I like this Evan Mobley way better than, shoot that awkward three. Let's go. Get him the ball in the paint. Don't even make him drive.
This is
get him the ball in the paint.
This is where it is. This is exactly where it is, Bull.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the way they was feeding him, the thing that I always know when Evan Mobley is being aggressive is they were trying to switch off on him, and he ended up when I watched this game, he ended up with guards on him. He ended up with small forwards on him. He ended up with little guys on him.
Yeah.
And every time that he got the ball, it wasn't no hesitation. That's a nice move right there.
Yeah.
See how he's able to push the ball, and even if he miss, he's going to follow.
That was pathetic.
That was terrible. I'd have called a timeout on that one. But the fact of the matter, every single time, the big Sam Merrill, Donovan Mitchell, led by James Harden, every time that there was a small dude on him, he said, "Listen, that's supposed to be that's supposed to be a pizza party. You get your money off every single time." And what he was doing was just little guy. I'm bully balling. Now I'm gonna get under here. I'm gonna dunk the ball, and we about to make you pay for having small guys on us. And this is the Evan Mobley we want to see. This is the Evan Mobley that if you want to beat the Celtics, if Jason Tatum is on you or Jaylen Brown on a switch. Or Derek White.
That's the big one. It's the Derek White.
You gotta eat on him. You got to eat every time on Derek White.
He got 8 inches on Derek White?
Derek White's 6'5".
Okay,
so he's got 6-7 inches. Tatum and Brown are good post defenders, but if they're gonna switch and Boston switches all their
still, he's a lot bigger than those guys.
He's 7 foot.
Tatum's like 6'9", 6'10". Tatum's huge. Now Brown's stockier, not as tall. Tatum's huge.
But here's the thing, listen, Utah stinks. We all know that. And he's got to do it consistently. We've talked about this before against the good teams. But it feels like for the first time, and again, they could go out with a whimper as they have every other year. Mm-hmm. It feels like for the first time during this run, and obviously it's different with James Harden, but during these years with this group besides Harden, that it's coming together at the end of the year in terms of health. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, in past years, it was like guys were falling apart at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Now you got, Mobley's just gotten healthy recently. Allen, Strus, and he's fresh as a daisy right now. And it looks it, right? Like, he looks good and fresh. So they feel more formidable right now. I understand everybody's nervousness. The Cavs have a ton to prove. But I feel pretty good about them going to the playoffs. Knock on wood that nothing bad happens in the next 2 weeks.
Injuries.
You could screw up the whole thing.
And you can't control those. But I think another reason that you, Bull, are probably feeling a little more confident in this team now heading into the playoffs than we have in the last is the improved play of the bigs. And once again, I'll keep going back to this. Big guys don't dribble the basketball. They don't create their own stuff. Allen and Mobley are both best as the beneficiaries of other teams' offense. This is not a slight against Darius Garland, who's playing awesome in L.A., but Darius was still trying to prove himself in the league. I don't think Darius was ever capable of making it such a priority to get these bigs involved.
Right.
And when they're involved early and often, you get the best versions of both Evan and Jarrett. James Harden's proven everything he needs to prove in the league. The one thing he's missing on his resume, the only thing missing on his Hall of Fame resume, is an NBA championship.
Well, and same thing with Donovan.
And Donovan the same way. To get that championship for both of them, they need the best version of Evan Mobley and the best version of Jarrett Allen. And I said it before, I'll say it again. James Harden does not need to take 20 shots to be effective in a game. He can be equally as effective as a pass-first facilitating point guard at this stage of his career if he's manipulating the defense to get those bigs, the mismatches, and the easy looks that they have in the last couple of weeks.
I would argue that he's actually – this is the most valuable James Harden, is not him scoring, not like scoring 6 points, but you know what I mean, but like him being really a true point guard is what he's playing like. I think is the best version for this team of what they need from him. Obviously, there will come times, especially once you play good teams, where they will need him to have a night where he scores 30. Yeah. And we know he's capable of that. But they don't need that from him every night, because if he's feeding the post, the way 14 assists, if he's doing anything close to that, they're going to score plenty of points. And if he scores 16, 18, that's fine. They can win a lot of games with him, with that stat line. What did he have? 16 points, 6 boards, 14 assists?
13 and 14.
Oh, 13. They'll win a lot of games like that because that means the big guys feasted. In this case, the big guy feasted.
And I've always had, we talk about small ball in the philosophy of basketball, and I know everybody want to shoot threes, McNuggets, and I get that. Like that's a big part of it. If you're making 14, 15, 16 threes, you're going to be a very hard team to beat. But there is something to be said for teams that want to go small and they're shooting those threes. Yes, that's an advantage, but it's a trade-off. If you want to do that the teams that's methodical, that can work the ball down low and say, all right, well, we're going to get to the rim, and either you're going to foul us, or we're gonna play. We're gonna be at this rim the whole every single day. And the thing that I want to do is I like to get guys. I want to be physical. I want to get guys in foul trouble, and I want to be in the penalty. And it's great because now you got great free throw shooters like James Harden. You got guys that can get to the basket. It's hard to stay in front of, like Donovan Mitchell. And being in the penalty early is a great equalizer because it gives you an opportunity to score when defenses are set in the playoffs and slows the pace.
Even more importantly, if you get the bigs involved early, right? You start attacking those mismatches on switches. Well, let's use Derek White for an example, right? Let's say they switch with Allen or Mobley. We'll use Mobley for the sake of this example. And they switch and Mobley starts eating in the paint. And he realizes, you're 6'5" and you're a good defender, but I'm this new version of Evan Mobley who's shooting 70% from inside the arc in March. I'm going to continue to dominate with my back to the basket. Well, you know what Boston's going to have to do? They're going to have to send a double team at some point, right?
Yes.
And when they start sending double teams, you got the floor spaced with James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Sam Merrill, Max Strus, Keon Ellis, combination Jalen Tyson of legitimate, high-volume, capable three-point shooters. And you start doing that, you're going to make the opponent, in this case Boston, pick and choose what are we willing to live with. And right now with how they're playing, you're not letting Mobley, who's shooting 70% for two, get those isolation points. You're going to have to start coming out, which is going to give them the advantage on both inside the paint or inside the perimeter and outside the three-point arc.
What's up, Earl?
One final point before we wrap this thing up. In the last 2 games, James Harden has shot the ball 20 times while dishing out 28 assists. So to your point, Bull, just being that facilitating guard, he's able to do that with the way that this team is currently constructed.
Absolutely. And again, there's going to be times they need him.
They're going to need him to score.
Yeah. But right now, he's all about the team, and that's really fun to see. And remember, and maybe the worm is just slightly starting to turn in the NBA, and I hope this is the case because I like this. That maybe the defense, especially when it comes to the playoffs, will get so good on the three-pointers that the percentage will start to favor the two-point shot again. I don't know, but the Cavs have gone into the last few postseasons shooting a lot of threes, and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't shoot any threes. Obviously, that's got to be a part of your game. But if the Cavs can have an advantage of some level of twin towers on the defensive end, on both ends, that could be an advantage that other teams don't have. And maybe that's the formula to getting the Cavs where they need to get, which is at least to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Last Cavs stat.
Yeah.
Last night was the 32nd game this season where they shot as a team below 34% from three. They're 13-19 in those games. Having the bigs, the ability to play through the bigs down low and then get out, could be the counteraction to their off nights from beyond.
Right.
If you want to see some high-flying action, though, you can see the Cavs when they're back at home. Or tomorrow night, the Cleveland Charge